What's up, Broncos country? How we all doing? The halftime hash is beginning. David, welcome to the halftime hash, man. How you doing?
Man, it's been an interesting half, Kev. And by interesting, I mean interesting. Because, man, there's some good stuff in there. The Broncos lead 10-7, obviously. Honestly, right now, it reminds me a little bit of last week's game. Just in that it's a really close game right now. You know, the Broncos are a couple of plays away from either breaking this open or being behind right now.
Yeah.
You know, last week they got that fumble from Daniel Jones as the Giants were driving. That really kind of turned momentum around and helped them kind of make it a little bit more of a one-sided game than it had been up until that point. You know, this week they've got the 2 missed field goals from Lambeau, keeping them ahead 10-7. So it's just it's sloppy from the Broncos. It's not what you need to want to see all the way around. But, you know, 10-7 right now, and you've got to figure if they clean some things up, they're only a couple of plays away from busting this open.
I mean, you have the chance going out there, start the half. We're driving the ball down the field fairly well. I like to see us get Teddy more time in the pocket a couple of times. Some missed passes there that probably should have been, completed for sure. Some flags that shouldn't have been thrown, some flags that were thrown that shouldn't have been thrown, some that were completely valid flags. You know, you can be upset at them like I still was, but still are valid flags. But you're right. We can't I'm seeing this as we can't rely on Lambeau to keep missing field goals for us to have a chance to win. I mean, we need to come out, have another drive down the field, make it 17-7. And kind of start, widening that gap a little bit. So
that's it. And yeah, they've got to clean up the penalties. They've got to keep it less sloppy. I'm not entirely sure they're calling this game exactly the same way as far as the coverage goes, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And you've got to overcome that. It's just the way it's going to be for the rest of the game. So, the offense has not looked horrible in any spot, really. They haven't gotten, they've been able to put together drives. They're just not not finishing those drives the way we want them to. Obviously, they had the 1 touchdown drive to Tim Patrick. Like you said, they get the ball the second half. They've got to go down the field. They've got to score. They did it last week against the Giants. It helped them set a tone for the entire second half, and they've got to do it again today.
Yeah, I think I'm not worried about it. I think they can. I mean, we haven't seen them really struggle too much They've moved the ball down the field multiple times. I mean, it's can we just play clean football? Really quickly, everyone that's here, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks, and thanks for watching. Welcome to the Halftime Hash. My name is Kev Dan with David here on Orange Weekly. We got Shane is calling Jenny Hunter out. Jenny, if you're watching, thanks or welcome to the show. Now, Daniel says Fangio is really struggling. Now, I don't know how much of this is really Fangio. I mean, you're looking at some of the missed passes and whatnot. The play calling is one thing. But you're seeing a lot of just missed opportunities from the actual execution of the plays, to be honest with you.
Well, and I don't know if how much of the penalties issue you can put on Fangio or not, but it is, if that is something that he's puts an emphasis on or doesn't put an emphasis on, he needs to be. Mm-hmm. It's, to me, I'm watching the defense out here be close on a lot of these plays. The touchdown pass. That Fuller was not that badly out of position on that play, but he was out of position enough. And Trevor Lawrence put a perfect ball on the receiver. Absolutely stunning football. Mm-hmm. It's tough to defend that when you're in man coverage. Surtain getting picked on a little bit, but also not really that far out of position on any of these plays. That pass interference against him, it's tough. Like for a rookie, you get coached up on that when a receiver, there's an underthrown ball and a receiver's just running into you at the end of his route to draw a penalty. There are techniques to get coached up on how to do that. He's got to learn those things, and that only comes with experience. It's going to happen for him. Again, he's not that far out of position. He's not getting burned like he can't play with these guys. It's a game of inches out there on defense, and they're losing it a little bit right now.
Yep.
But again, some mistakes by Jacksonville, fortunate up to be up 10-7 right now.
Right. Keep posting your comments. Keep posting your questions. We'll be here through the rest of halftime. Robert says Orange Weekly for life. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Chris, any news on Jewel and Chubb? Jewel, it sounded like he got hurt on that big hit on the punt. He was pretty excited that he had made that hit. So
it's a shoulder injury. Yeah, it's a shoulder injury for him. So I don't know what, that's obviously, for an inside linebacker, it's kind of important to be able to play with your shoulders. So we'll see if he's got what he's got for the rest of the game. If it's a dislocation, maybe they pop that in, give him a shot, and he's good to go.
Right.
Chubb, it's concerning. No news at this point, but he did not look like he was feeling good.
First off, that should have been a hold. For the love of God, that should have been a holding call, but whatever.
They've held Von Miller a couple of times. Pretty obviously that didn't get called. We can't talk about that. It's not.
I'm just frustrated. This game should be a lot different than it is right now.
But it's
Broncos, I think you're saying, we're losing the game of inches, and that's what's doing it to us.
Absolutely. And it's another situation where you maybe go back to the early time slot again, the early East Coast time slot. Rain, sloppy weather conditions, it's a slog, man. Yeah, it's a slog out there, and you've got to go out there and play your game anyway. That's all there is to it. And I'm sure that's what Coach Fangio is saying, a variation of. I hope he's saying it better than I am because he's head coach. But yeah, come out the second half, play Bronco football.
Yep.
You don't have to do anything special. You don't have to play outside yourself. Just do what you can do.
Mm-hmm. Jared, refs aside, defense definitely stepped up at the first drive. I was concerned after that first drive, not to hit the panic button right away because it's the first drive of the game. But yeah, I was like, hey, what's going on here? But they have stepped up. We've had some 3 and outs. We've held them to those long field goal ranges. That's exactly what you want our defense to do,
And it's a couple of those tip balls. In the one of them goes our way.
You're so close to an interception.
Yeah, a couple times. It's just, and so yeah, there's reasons to be encouraged if you can just get these things to go your way, but it doesn't happen by magic. They've got to go out there and execute.
Yep. Hey, everyone, hit that share button for us. Hit that like button, that love button, that sad button, whatever button you want to press. Make sure you press it for us. It helps us out a lot. And don't forget about all the other content we have at Orange Weekly, the pregame podcast, postgame podcast, the Ragers podcast. If you're into sports betting or want to hear what those just interest into what Vegas is thinking about the game, make sure you check out that. Also, we got the Monday night show, Orange Weekly After Dark, 9 p.m. Mountain Time. Tuesday, Bourbon Broncos, No BS, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And you can check us out on our website, BroncosOrangeWeekly.com as well. Pre-game show, halftime show. Guys, we got a ton of stuff for you guys. Just make sure you keep following us. And glad you're here. So, okay, so David, a couple big things that you're looking for the Broncos to come out and do in this next half.
First of all, clean up the penalties, because that will be the most visible sign to me that their execution is going to be better going forward. Just less sloppiness, more just do your job. That's it. Play inside yourself and do your job. And a couple of comments have really highlighted it. They've got to get the running game going. It's absolutely imperative that they give a little bit more balance to this offense. Melvin Gordon especially, I think, has really, really been struggling. You've seen a little bit of a boost maybe from Javonte Williams when he's in there, but just not a lot of traction for either of these guys. Offensive line not playing that well again today, and it's really kind of discouraging when we thought this was going to be a bounce-back game for them. So maybe that's another thing. If the offensive line can bounce back, certainly that's going to help the run game.
I think we finally saw, and Garrett Bowles has done a very great job over a long period of time now, protecting the quarterback. But that big sack on 3rd and goal, that was a missed block, miscommunication, whatever the case was on the Bowles side. So that one was huge. You're right. Offensive line needs to definitely clean that up. And it looks like Teddy is maybe, if we can give him another second in the pocket, I think we're going to see a lot cleaner football from him. But yeah, run the football. We do only have 21 yards rushing. They're doing a great job stopping our run game. I think if we can stick with the run game and find a way to open that up a little bit, that's going to, do a ton for our, RPOs and whatnot.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, we've just seen the chemistry for Hamler. We were talking about chemistry in Bridgewater in the pregame show. It's just not there for him and Hamler quite yet. They're not. There was that miscue on that play right near the half where they could have connected downfield for a bigger gain, and Hamler just didn't look and see where the ball was coming from. When it's not quite there yet. I think they are going to get there, but something to keep an eye on for the rest of the game. Can they maybe spark a little bit of something for this offense?
You got to. I think at this point, the Jags are looking for some life, come back from those 2 missed field goals. They know that they should be in a winning position right now. And I think if you give them an inch, they're going to take that and run with it. So I think this is our opportunity to come out there. We have got to find a way to really start widening the gap right away. Smart, clean football. None of these dumb penalties, avoid the ones that you can. Of course, there's some that you just can't, but, go out there. 17-7 is going to be huge for us in terms of us being able to start dictating the second half.
Absolutely. You got to go out and go out and do it. That's what we've been talking about this whole time.
So Jared, Hamler, they're going to connect for, I think it's just a matter of time. I think we're also just on the verge of getting an interception. Also, how about Hinton? Holy crap.
Big catch.
Him out there, number 9, man.
Yeah. 1 catch for, I think it was 9-10 yards, but big time play, gets the first down conversion and then right to Patrick for the touchdown on that drive. Yeah, absolutely. Great to see him. We thought he was probably going to get some snaps. They had him active when they called him up from the practice squad. So we speculated a little bit about how much playing time he was going to get. Glad to see him out there.
Yeah. Spreading the ball around for sure. I would have thought that we would have had, and what about Timmy Patrick getting that touchdown? But I thought that we'd be targeting him a whole lot more. I'm worried about Cortland Sutton. He keeps limping off to the sideline a couple of times. So, I definitely don't want to see him go down. I wouldn't be surprised if we start kind of maybe targeting somebody else a little bit more. So big one is Bradley Chubb. For me, I would say he's done. He's done. I don't know how serious it is. Obviously, he was very upset. He's been fighting that non-surgical repaired ankle for a couple of weeks now, but I'd say he's done more or less, and looking for Cooper or Draymond Jones to really step up in his place.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Chubb's day is absolutely over. even if his ankle is just okay. Precautionarily, they're going to not put him in, I don't think.
No, and I'm okay with that. I think we need to find a way and get the pass rush in there a little bit more. Von Miller's come close a couple times, gotten in Trevor Lawrence's face, but man, I'm just waiting for that sack and something to lead to an interception. Man, I'm just dying for it.
Absolutely, yeah. Von's been close a couple of times, and he's absolutely caused a couple of incompletions with his pressure. Just have to get a little bit more. Yep, absolutely. All right.
Okay.
It's the second half. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sure it's starting. Any last closing thoughts?
Just clean it up. Better offensive line play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, let's make it happen. Come out there strong. Look, it's a whole half. Even if we go down, let's see how the Broncos respond. We won't be down by much more than a possession. So let's see what they do. Hey, everyone, thanks for joining us here at the Halftime Hash. David, thanks for your insight, man.
Absolutely. Good to talk to you, Kev.
Yeah, you too. Go Broncos, and we'll see you all Monday night for the Orange Weekly After Dark show. With that being said, go Broncos.
Go Broncos.